and it grew nearer and nearer each time I backed away from his large form. Because you kill people, you fucking lunatic. My calm facade broke. Contrary to your belief, that is not a normal thing to do. It's vile and monstrous, and I will never be comfortable with it. You're shaking like a leaf, Kroshka. Little one. He ignored my outburst and gently caressed my cheek. His chest was mere inches away from my face. I terrify you. You threatened to murder me many times. My voice shook. Why wouldn't I be afraid? You shouldn't be, because as long as you are an obedient wife to me, I will never harm you. He traced a finger along every one of my features. I will give you a life if leisure. When the time comes for you to carry my child, I will bring you pleasure far greater than any other man can. What if I don't want to have sex with you? My back hit the wall after I took another step away from him. Why you can't force me? I would never force myself on you. I won't have to. He chuckled. It won't take much for me to get you on your knees and begging for me, young Rosalie. I can do things which no other man that you've ever been with can. There hasn't been any men before. I mumbled. Wait. He looked genuinely surprised. You're a virgin? Are you assuming that just because I'm a stripper I'm automatically supposed to have had sex before? My temper spiked, fear almost forgotten. You truly are one of a kind. A deep laugh escaped him. You're a girl who gets naked for money, but you have not had sex before. I've never gotten completely naked. I glared at him. I'm basically wearing a bikini, the same as I would at the beach, only it's made of lace, and I'm dancing on a pole. I'm confident with my body and broke, so becoming a stripper seemed like a good option. It doesn't make me a slut though. Oh, I never called you that. He tucked a stray lock of hair behind my ear. Only unique. That is good. It means that I will never have to doubt if I really am the father of our child. The fact that you've never had sex before will make the conception so much more fun. You said I could choose to get pregnant via artificial insemination, I stated. Yes, but that's the boring option, he replied. As my wife you will never be allowed a lover, so if you want pleasure, it will come from only myself or your own unskilled fingers. Unskilled? I desperately wanted to punch him, but I was pretty sure that he'd do the same to me if I tried. I'll rather get a dildo than to ever fuck you, I hissed. I couldn't believe that just a few days ago I'd been fantasizing about the man. You'll change your mind by the end of the week. I guarantee it. There was a sickening, condescending smile plastered across his smug face. Wrong. I deadpanned. How sure of that are you? My breath hitched as his large hand landed on my thigh and crept up the hemline of my dress. I made no move to stop him because deep down I really wanted to see what would happen. I gasped as his hand slipped in between my thighs and stroked my womanhood through the thin fabric of my underwear. You don't look sure to me. He smirked at my red face as he slipped a finger under my underwear and ever so slowly ran it along my folds. At this point there was no denying that I was dripping wet and aching for him, but my stubbornness was so great that I would never admit it, despite the fact that he was able to feel my obvious arousal. I hate you. My voice was a breathy whisper as he stroked my clit. Obviously, was his only reply. I will kill you. My knees trembled from his touch. You want me to kill to prove my loyalty to the mafia? I'll kill you then. Of course you will. His mocking voice was low in my ear. Will you do it now or after I make you come? Fuck you, dick. My words were cut off by a moan as he slipped a finger inside me and slowly pumped it in and out. You were saying? His ocean blue eyes locked with mine when I threw my head back as I became completely consumed with pleasure. I wanted to scream from both frustration and pleasure. The man was an infuriating prick and I hated him with every atom of my being. Yet the way my body reacted to his touch said something entirely different. It was getting harder and harder to hold onto my sanity with his hand buried between my thighs. A small, but rapidly growing part of me wanted him to use me, to ruin me and to break me. But no, I would not allow it, at least not while I had some sanity left. I wouldn't let him win. The man had already taken away my freedom and control, so the last thing he deserved was my body as a reward. He thought I was weak and that I could easily be lured into his bed. So far I'd proven him right, but no more. My body was the only thing I had left that I could actually call my own, and here I was, just handing it over to him. I felt disgusted. It was then that my body once again betrayed my brain, as one more stroke of his thumb around my clit sent me over the edge. I leaned against his firm, muscular chest as I recovered from what had just happened. My legs were trembling and I was having a hard time standing as a result. It appears that I was wrong. His voice snapped me out of my post-orgasm daze. You won't even last a week. I'll have you screaming beneath me within 2 nights. Get off me. I fought my way out of his embrace and smoothed down my skirt. My chin wobbled as I tried hard not to cry. You weren't saying that a few minutes ago. He crossed his arms, a gesture that I noticed he did often. You did something to me. You must have. My voice rose several octaves. Maybe it was a drug in that breakfast the maid brought or something, but this isn't normal. I would never. Oh, don't pull that innocent virgin shit now. Nikolai sighed irritably. You want me. I want you. The end. You just don't like me, but honestly I don't really care. There is no way you can say you didn't enjoy it when I touched you. Your sweet little moans in my ear gave it all away. My gaze fell to the floor as I suddenly became incredibly shy. Everything he just said was true, but hearing it out loud made it so much more real. This is too much, I said as my breathing grew faster. I can't be here anymore. I don't give a fuck. He roughly grabbed my arm and pulled me toward the door. It's time for you to tour the estate. I don't care about how the estate looks, I just need to be alone right now. I protested and attempted to get out of his unyielding grip. Just let me go. Right now I don't care about how badly I want to fuck you. If you continue to annoy me I will not hesitate to kill you. He pulled a gun out of his suit jacket and pressed it against my spine. You will tour the fucking estate with me now. I cancelled a meeting for this shit and I hate changing plans. With that he proceeded to practically drag me out of his office, one hand tightly wrapped around the back of my neck and the other digging the gun into my back. 1 minute he was the perfect gentleman and the next a savage brute. The events of today had proved to me that Nikolai Chekhov was a demon straight from the deepest pits of hell. I was now absolutely certain of it. What do you think of the book so far? 5. 6. Why can't you just kill me the good old-fashioned way? I grumbled. I'm not going to kill you, huffed Nikolai. You're huge. I looked him up and down in horror. How am I supposed to fight you? I will die. Just get on the training mat and stop being scared. This is for your own good. His voice was stern. You'll die if you can't fight and protect yourself. Can't I spar with someone closer to my size? I questioned as I took a hesitant step onto the cushioned mat. Someone who doesn't resemble a giant on steroids. At the crack of dawn, I'd been almost dragged out of bed by Nikolai and ordered to get changed into workout gear. He wanted to begin teaching me to fight today, so the two of us were currently in an enormous room that closely resembled a gym. The majority of the previous day had been spent with the man dragging me around on a tour of the property while holding a gun to my head, so to say that I was less than pleased to be around him again would be an understatement. His iron grip had left dark bruises all over my arms. Put your one leg in front of the other. He's placed a hand on each of my shoulders and forced me to stand up straight. Good. Now I want you to try and escape my hold. Why I began, but my words were cut short as he roughly tackled me to the ground and held me in a headlock. Get the fuck off. I choked out as I struggled against his strong arms. Weak. He looked down at me in distaste after he let me go and got to his feet. You can't even land a decent punch. Why now I could have killed you 100 times over. I scowled at him from where I lay flat on my back, gasping for air. I am a third of your size, you prick. I wheezed and slowly stood up. I know of a woman who can kill many men my size simultaneously. She also only learnt to fight around your age, so there is still hope for you. He cracked his knuckles loudly. Now I want you to actually put some effort into it this time. Wait. My eyes went wide, but it was too late as the man had already charged at me and pushed me down onto the floor. This time around I fought with all my might against his muscular form as he hovered above me, pinning me to the ground. Your face is so red. The Russian man smirked as I angrily beat my fists against his chest. Look at how much you're struggling. You weigh a ton. I groaned when he decided to suddenly drop his full weight on top of me. You're supposed to at least be able to distract me or something. He looked genuinely disappointed. Surely you could have escaped this time. It isn't hard to get free because I'm not even holding you properly. I'm just heavy. I can't breathe. I squeaked as I was crushed beneath his deadweight. Pathetic. He rolled off me and stared up at the ceiling while pinching the bridge of his nose. I won't even end up killing you. Natural selection will finish you off at the rate you're going. I was doing just fine before I met you. I hissed. I don't need to do all of this shit. You were on the run and in constant danger before I came along. If it wasn't for me, you would be back with your beloved father right now, possibly dead, stated Nikolai. So unless you wish to die, little girl, I suggest you show more enthusiasm in learning to fight. No wife of mine will ever be called weak. I can protect you, yes, but I want to be sure that you can protect yourself if I am not around. Yeah, all right. I rolled my eyes. But you knew full well that I wouldn't be able to get you off me. You only enjoy watching me struggle because I've never fought a day in my life. At least teach me how to punch first or something. Okay then, because you want to act like a child, I will teach you as if you are a child, he decided. We'll start with the very basics. Since you keep calling me young and little, how old are you then? I asked. I'm 33. Oh, I said in a small voice. You're like 14 years older than me. Wow. Does that bother you? He frowned. No, although I always assumed you were in your 20s. But your age isn't the problem here. You are. I replied hotly. I happen to prefer older men. Do you now? He sat up and surveyed me. Yes. I mirrored his actions. That is a dangerous thing for you, princessa. Princess, older men are usually larger than those your age. They can easily overpower and harm you, he spoke. Like you did? I scowled. You are lucky that I found you before anyone else. The club you worked at is owned by the leader of a powerful Italian crime family. The men that frequent that place. A spark of anger flashed in his blue eyes. I kill, yes, but I am a good man compared to some of the others out there. You wouldn't stand a chance against them, especially since you can't even fight. But now that you are mine, no other man can even dream of touching you. What would anyone want with me? I frowned. I just dance. You have a rare beauty that men hunger for, and by working in such a place you become an easy target to fulfill their desires, he explained. You are quite small, so it will not be at all difficult for a man to violate you. Need I continue? Why must men be so disgusting? All women want to do is live their lives, but we have to be afraid to even leave the house. His words made me feel sick. The real world is a dark place, he spoke, accent thick, but you will be protected by my side. No one can ever harm you, not your father and not anyone else, ever. I must have been extremely hormonal and overwhelmed because the wall holding back my emotions decided to suddenly collapse. Fat tears rolled down my cheeks as Nikolai raised an eyebrow at me. What on earth is the problem? He sounded annoyed. This whole situation is a problem. I hiccuped. I was in danger before I met you, but now you claim that you can keep me safe. That's a lie because you are the danger, Nikolai. And don't you dare tell me that you won't harm me if I'm obedient, because I don't even know what you mean by obedient. Well, so far you have behaved yourself, mostly. The man was unfazed by my show of emotion. You are stubborn, yes, but smart. You won't do anything that will get yourself killed, which includes disobeying me. In my organization, my word is law, and that applies to my woman too. Going against what I say will be an act of disobedience and will result in a punishment. Punishment? I dried my tears, knowing that nothing he could say would make me feel better. He didn't care about how I felt, obviously. The man was glad that he was currently the only threat to me, as all others had been eliminated. My